You could spend the weekend doing the same old whatever, or you could conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey.
They called it the Mistake by the Lake. It was home to the Grey Cup, dubbed the Fog Bowl. It was inundated by seagulls swooping in over terrified fans to get their food. The first ever Major League Baseball game ever played there was marred by heavy snow. Seats designed for football sidelines provided for brutal baseball sightlines. It was Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and it needed to go. Hi, I'm Chris May, host of This Day in Weather History, now in its second year from the Weather Network in Canada. You open the roof to let the sun in, close it, keep the rain out. Got it? Got it. Wait, say that again? Wait till you hear what happened instead. This day in weather history. We need a world-class stadium, they said. It needs to have a roof to protect us from the weather, they said. It needs to stay open for the sun, then close for the rain, they said. In 1989, it was complete. We need a splashy opening ceremony broadcast all over Canada so all can see our wonder of engineering, they said. Yeah, that looked good on paper. The eventual gala featured prominent stars of the time, including Glass Tiger, André-Philippe Gagnon, Oscar Peterson, the Toronto Symphony, Dave Thomas, Tommy Ambrose, with hosts Alan Thicke and Andrea Martin. Ooh, and a floor show that featured dancers and performers from a variety of area talent studios featuring the many flavors of Canada. I was one of those performers. I was there for this, on the Skydome floor, for all the rehearsals in the blazing heat, and now this big night with thunderstorms forecast in the area. This elaborate opening spectacle was supposed to have been a live, televised 90-minute program that snapped up every available media spotlight in the Northeast and was scheduled to end with a brilliant burst of fireworks and the release of 30,000 balloons. Unfortunately for the 45,000 spectators gathered, the weather did not cooperate. Some might say that the Skydome was born under a bad sign. The nationally televised 1982 Grey Cup Canadian Football Championship showed embarrassing images of sullen Toronto Argonaut fans at Exhibition Stadium soaked to the bone from torrential rain. Enough was enough. Toronto is a world-class city, and they deserved a world-class sports and entertainment facility. The idea was that it would be all things to all events: sports, exhibitions, concerts, trade shows, you name it, and Skydome could accommodate. It cost, at that time, a massive, bloated $570 million and was, remember, supposed to make sure no one ever again got soaked at an event. So, broadcast nationwide on the CBC, hyped for weeks in advance, and hosted by Canadians Alan Thicke and Andrea Martin, the opening of Skydome was clearly one of those events which probably seemed like a great idea at the time. Welcome to year 2 of this podcast. Right now, you're listening to the full version of today's story on your favorite podcast provider. But there's also the daily podcast video short. They're shot right here in my podcast recording studio, so you get that perspective. But oftentimes, they will include visuals from that day's event, from when it happened, in weather history. So after listening to the full story, go check out the podcast video short on television or online anytime at theweathernetwork.com/weather history. Then reality set in. Legendary CBC broadcaster and anchor Brian Williams reported that due to a lightning storm in the area, the prized dome roof, and the whole reason $570 million was spent, and why all these people are here tonight, and why this is broadcast all over Canada, could not be fully opened. Uh-oh, this is going pear-shaped, and I mean real fast. Perhaps it was the faces of those young entertainers who had practiced day and night for months preparing for this, the biggest show of their life, only to be dumped on by the unimpressed gods from above. Remember, I was there. I can tell you, it was brutal. I was with the other entertainers in the underground bowels of Skydome waiting for our cue. We could hear the muted sounds of the music in the audience, but what was loud and crystal clear was the squelching radios from the belts of the organizing staff alerting of the pending powerful lightning storm and the possibility of not being able to access the dome. Then our director took a megaphone and let us know the real problem. There was a team of Canadian military paratroopers scheduled to fly through the open roof and land on the Canadian flag on the stage. Here's the thing. It's raining so hard they risked injury. We had to make a human chain on national television to help brace their landing. Yep, that happened this day in weather history. Tomorrow is June 4th. We're off to the Atacama Desert in northern Chile. This is one of the most inhospitable places on planet Earth. It's so hot and dry, they have unearthed 7,000-year-old mummies from their crust. The oldest we ever got from Egypt was 3,000 years. So rain is very, very rare is what I'm trying to say. Except for what happened in 2002. And that's tomorrow, on This Day in Weather History, with me, your host, Chris May.